Hi everyone, I'm Sunny, and today's pick a card is going to be a yes or no pick a card. For today's topic, it's going to be about whether you can move on faster in comparison to your previous partner or situationship. So it's a yes or no format. So I have four piles you may choose from left to right. I have pile 1, 2, 3, and 4. If you need more time, you're more than welcome to pause the video, and then select the pile or piles of your choice when you're ready. So with that being said, for pile number 1, you guys have the Four of Cups reversed, so this is going to be a no. The likelihood of you moving on faster in comparison to your ex-partner is going to be slower. And I think that might have to do with, it's weird because I think this is a positive way of saying yes, you'll move on, but like you're gonna start fresh. I think it might take you longer to recover. I think mostly because you're recovering for yourself, not looking for someone else necessarily. But when you do recover, I think how can I say this? They might move on faster than you, quote unquote, but they'll miss you likely much faster than you'll miss them. So like when you decide to move on and clear the slate of like, okay, this connection's over, but I'm ready to start dating again or like considering people as like potential love partners, I do think you'll like you won't even think about them that much. I think that's the funny, ironic part. It's like it might take you more time to heal. Not as much time as you think. It's like years and years, but yeah, maybe a few months, like at the most, maybe to heal this connection. But I do think you'll move on long term quickly. Like that was worded weirdly, but I do think you'll like move on much faster than they are going to move on. Like I think they'll continuously think about you, pile number 1. Like I wonder what they're doing. Like wondering, I just keep thinking like they wonder a lot about you. That doesn't necessarily mean like, oh, they want to go back to you. I just think they I think they have their like hiccups maybe of like when they do move on with like whoever they decide to move on to or from several people, right? I think they'll kind of reminisce. I don't know if that's the right word. Reminisce of a reminiscence. They'll think of you. They'll think of the moments they had with you, like maybe how it could have been easier with you, or like they'll compare. I think they'll compare. Not that everything was always great. I just think they'll compare a lot, and you won't even think about them. I just don't think this pile would think about their partner once they move on. So, I think that's much better results. I think, but yeah, it might take a little bit longer, mostly to recover and heal, but I do think you're more than willing to do the work. I think you're more than willing to actually move on because you just want to start new. Like, not new, but like, you want to start fresh so that you can start new. Like, you don't want to have hang-ups and you don't want to have like a bunch of skeletons in the closet you haven't really, organized and stuff. I think you want to walk through that quite well. So that's what I have for you. Pile number 2. You guys have the King of Swords upright, so this is a yes. You'll move on much faster than your lover, your ex-lover. I think that I don't think you have an issue dating. Pile number 2. Even if you're like, I'm not exactly like, there's a saying, not the pick of the litter. Is it the pick of the litter? But honestly, you have a way with communication. I think you know how to keep a conversation. You're likable, you're charming, you're flirtatious. People enjoy your presence. And even though you think that, sorry, my dog is looking at me. Sorry, I got distracted. Even though you think that it might take you a while for some people, I just think you won't have an issue dating. I think you might have somebody waiting for you not at the beck and call that you have, but right around the corner. Maybe it's a friend or a colleague. I think someone's kind of just waiting around. They're waiting around for you to kind of break up or like be ready to date. Not that they were your doormat. I just think that they were kind of willing to discover that, discover that path when it's free, like explore it basically. So yeah, I think you'll move on much, like sword energy's fast, and I think you'll be texting and like maybe trying dating apps or talking to people, like having fun, but coming at it from like a non-emotional point, like I'm just here for business. You know what I'm trying to say. Maybe you just want hookups. Maybe you just want to stick to that. You're not going to be thinking like, oh, I want a relationship out of this. I think you want to have your fun. You're like, I want something different, something new. I don't want to stick to one person that's just going to tie me down, and I might not even like that person. It's just you want to have fun. You want to discover different things. You want communication. You definitely want to talk to people, and that's very important for you. So when you do move on, communication is going to be very different, or you're like thinking about like that's the most important thing you want, because maybe your previous partner did not communicate with you and you want that. So maybe a younger man, a younger woman, not extremely young, but like compared to your age, I think that they'll be a bit younger, or like feel like they have a youthful vibe to them. Someone that's, you know, like very smart. You might just be attracted to them because, you know, you're a sapio legio person, right? So, you know, do that what you want. So thank you, pile number 2. Pile number 3, you guys have the Hierophant reverse, so this is a no. I think you're very stubborn about, not that you're stubborn about moving on, like, I think that maybe being committed to this person, even if it's not formal, like you were married or something like that, I think you could have been just long-term relationships, or like someone that lived with them for a long time, or, you know, you were with each other since like you were in high school or something. You're someone that felt like commitment was very important to you, but it was broken. That trust was broken, that marriage was broken, like everything fell down, and separation was difficult for you. I think you're very stuck on the fact that it was so normal to you, or like very familiar, something that felt very safe, that you're just like, oh, this was like you pull the mat out of, is it the mat out of is it the mat or the rug under your feet, something like that. But you know, they pulled it out, right? They pulled a fast one on you, and you just like, I didn't see that coming. So they might move on faster. Maybe they might have had a side piece already, and you were aware, or you were not aware of it, but eventually you might have found out later on. But either way, it's like you were faithful maybe to a fault, or you just thought it was going to be a very different result, and you might have also wanted to work it on things, but maybe the other party didn't want to work on it. So like, they'll move on faster than you might in comparison, but I just think you need to maybe heal yourself more, a little bit better, to be ready to put yourself first. I don't know necessarily want to put yourself out there to date, pile number 3. I don't feel that, even though it's like breaking out of the norm with the reverse too. So like, maybe you will in due time, and you might be open to like having non-committal relationships or connections, and just like being more free and not wanting to get married, or you just don't, you want to date but you don't want to settle down in like a formal way again. Like maybe you just wanted to get married once and never again. So that could be it. It's just like you enjoy your partnerships or partner, but in time, not right away. I think you would take some time, but I also think moving on might not take as long as you think. I think that you might realize that you feel relief, and when you feel relief, you feel freedom. I feel like there's a lot of freedom here. It's like, oh, I didn't realize I was so stagnant or like so stressed until like I finally experienced different like scenarios in a different environment, and that might have been you being alone. So I do think you won't move on fast in comparison, but you'll move on and you'll enjoy that freedom. You'll enjoy to break the chains, break the mold, break the structure of like, I had to fit in this rigid traditional form and values, and it's just not you anymore. Things change. So that's what I have for you. Pile number 4, you guys have the 3 of Cups upright. So this is a yes. I think you'll enjoy your singlehood, and I think you'll definitely move on faster from your previous partner in comparison. And I think you'll enjoy it. I think you have a lot of support system, and I think that's where your enjoyment comes from. That yes, you can party and you can go out, you're exploring all these things, about aspects about you that you didn't get to explore while being in a connection, because it might have been toxic maybe. Toxic to everyone's different, but it might have just been very restricted, or just it was hard to go out because your partner was always moody, or they didn't want to go out or something like that. So now you get to do all these things, and you get to explore things with your friends and get in touch with them, and just, be your own little clique, right? And I think that they might be jealous that you are having fun and they're not. I think they're bitter. I think in comparison to you, they're jealous in the way that you get to experience more happiness than they are. That you're celebrating, that you're happy, that you're not letting the separation of you and them be a trigger for you to not have fun and enjoy yourself. I think you're much brighter, you're happier, maybe you're gossipier, but you're still enjoying the company of people nonetheless. Maybe it's just your friends, maybe it's also people you date, but I think you're enjoying yourself, and it shows. So I don't think you have I think it feels light. I think you're having fun. I think you're getting more in touch with that softer side, that feminine side maybe too. So I do think you have a lot of feminine support in your life, and maybe that's why it's easy for you to separate, because you had a good support system. And you can also fall back on your family, and that could have been helpful to you. And that's why you found it it wasn't easy to separate. I think it was just easy to move on and find fun activities to do, because you had people kind of pepping you up and motivating you as you went along. So I do think that you'll move on faster than they will, and I think you'll just celebrate. I think you'll have a good time with dates. When you decide to date, I think you'll move on quickly. Compared to some of these other piles, I think you'll move on a little bit faster, but it's fun. I think you're just being you. You're like rediscovering who you are, and what makes you you, and like what makes you happy, and just it feels good. It's like maybe you have a trio of friends that you hang out with that always stick by you, even in through the hard times, right? And you maybe just badmouth them all the time. Who knows? Maybe they deserve it. Maybe they don't. I wouldn't know. But to each their own. So thank you so much for watching. If you stuck to the very end, I hope you enjoyed this reading. It was kind of a brief reading. So please like, subscribe, comment, and share. It helps me out with my algorithm and growing my channel. And I'll see you in a different video. So bye, everybody.